Out in the middle of the ocean, the water looks calm, endless, almost peaceful. But beneath that blue surface lies a wild world most people never see. Giant whales moving through deep migration highways. Pods of dolphins racing alongside ships like they're putting on a show. Penguins diving through icy waters. Sharks cruising silently through powerful ocean currents. The truth is, some of the greatest wildlife encounters on Earth don't happen on land. They happen at sea. And here's the cool part. You don't have to be a marine biologist or an extreme explorer to witness it. Some of the best wildlife viewing spots on the planet are actually along cruise routes. Yep, huge cruise ships sailing through some of the most incredible ecosystems on Earth, giving travelers front row seats to nature at its wildest. Welcome to Travel and Cruise. Today we're diving into some of the most amazing cruise routes where ocean life shows up in a big way. These are the places where whales breach beside ships, dolphins ride the waves, and entire ecosystems come alive right outside the deck rail. The best part? It all happens safely, responsibly, and in a way that protects the animals in their habitats. Let's start in one of the most legendary cruise regions in the world, Alaska's Inside Passage. Up here, nature doesn't just show up, it goes all out. Towering glaciers crack and thunder into the sea. Forest-covered mountains stretch right down to the water. And the cold, nutrient-rich ocean is packed with life. Cruise ships glide slowly through narrow channels where the water is so calm it almost looks like glass. Suddenly someone on the deck shouts, and everybody turns. A massive humpback whale raises out of the water, blows a misty plume into the air, and dives again with a powerful flick of its tail. Moments like that happen a lot here. The Inside Passage is one of the most reliable places in the world to see humpback whales. These giants migrate thousands of miles from tropical breeding grounds just to feed in Alaska's rich waters. Orcas cruise through these channels too, moving in tight family groups known as pods. When they surface together, black fins slicing through the water, it feels like something straight out of a nature documentary. And whales aren't the only stars of the show. Sea otters float on their backs, cracking shellfish. Bald eagles soar overhead. Sea lions crowd rocky shorelines, barking and splashing like they own the place. Out here they kinda do. Now, if Alaska feels wild, Antarctica takes things to a whole different level. Cruises heading toward the southernmost continent enter a world that feels almost untouched by time. Icebergs drift through silent blue water like floating sculptures. Massive glaciers glow under the polar sun. And everywhere you look, wildlife is thriving in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Expedition cruise ships carefully navigate through icy channels while passengers gather on the decks wearing thick jackets and big grins. Suddenly, hundreds of penguins appear along the shoreline, waddling across the snow like they're late for work. These birds might look funny on land, but in the water they're lightning fast. Penguins shoot through the ocean like little torpedoes, chasing fish and weaving through waves. Seals lounge across floating ice like kings of the frozen world. Leopard seals glide through the water with powerful jaws built for hunting. And then there are the whales. Humpback whales return here every year to feed in enormous numbers. Sometimes several surface at once, blowing mist into the freezing air. Watching these giants move through icy water feels surreal, like you're witnessing one of the last great wild places on the planet. But wildlife cruises aren't only about extreme environments. Some of the most fascinating marine ecosystems sit in warmer waters, and one of the greatest examples is the Galápagos Islands. This legendary chain of volcanic islands sits right on the equator in the Pacific Ocean. It's famous for inspiring Charles Darwin's ideas about evolution. And even today, it remains one of the most biologically unique places on Earth. Cruise ships that travel through the Galápagos don't just sail past wildlife. They move right through it. Sea lions lounge on beaches without a care in the world. These curious animals often swim right up to boats, twisting and spinning underwater like playful puppies. Marine iguanas crawl across black volcanic rocks, looking like tiny dragons that wandered out of a fantasy movie. Unlike any other lizard on Earth, these guys actually swim in the ocean to feed on algae. Sea turtles glide through warm blue water, ancient and calm, moving at their own steady pace. Overhead, blue-footed boobies dive from the sky like arrows, smashing into the water as they hunt for fish. And because the islands are heavily protected, the animals here show very little fear of humans. That means travelers often get unbelievably close views of wildlife while still keeping everything safe and respectful. Now let's jump across the Atlantic to another stunning cruise route, the Norwegian Fjords. This place looks like something straight out of a fantasy movie. Massive cliffs rise straight out of deep blue water. Waterfalls pour down rocky mountainsides. Tiny villages cling to the edges of dramatic valleys. But below the surface, these cold northern waters are alive with marine life. Orcas travel through the fjords chasing schools of herring. When feeding season begins, dozens of killer whales may gather in the same area. Their black fins cut through the water like sleek submarines. Dolphins often show up too, racing alongside cruise ships and surfing the waves created by the ship's bow. Passengers line the railings cheering like they're watching a live show. And then there are the birds. Cliffs along the fjords host enormous seabird colonies. Puffins with their bright orange beaks flap awkwardly through the air before diving into the ocean to catch fish. The scenery alone is breathtaking, but when wildlife joins the picture, the whole experience becomes unforgettable. Now, if whales are your thing, there's another cruise destination that absolutely delivers: Baja California. Every winter, something remarkable happens along the Pacific coast of Mexico. Gray whales migrate thousands of miles from Alaska down to warm lagoons in Baja to give birth. And here's the crazy part. These whales sometimes swim right up to small boats. In certain lagoons, mother whales and their calves approach quietly, surfacing beside boats almost like they're curious about the humans watching them. Seeing a 40-ton whale this close is the kind of moment that sticks with you forever. Dolphins also roam these waters in huge pods. Sea lions lounge on rocky islands, barking loudly at passing boats. And if you're lucky, you might even spot whale sharks gliding through deeper waters nearby. It's one of those places where the ocean feels truly alive. But we can't talk about marine wildlife without mentioning one of the most famous ecosystems on Earth: Australia's Great Barrier Reef. This enormous coral reef stretches for more than 1,400 miles along Australia's northeast coast. It's the largest reef system on the planet and home to thousands of marine species. Cruise ships visiting the region anchor near protected reef zones where smaller boats and guided excursions allow people to safely explore the underwater world. The moment you look beneath the surface, it feels like entering another universe. Bright tropical fish flash through coral gardens. Giant sea turtles drift gracefully through clear blue water. Manta rays glide like flying carpets beneath the waves. Even reef sharks appear here, but they usually keep their distance, cruising calmly through deeper channels. The reef is one of the most colorful and diverse ecosystems on the planet. Watching it up close reminds you just how incredible the ocean truly is. Another incredible wildlife route runs along the coast of South Africa. This stretch of ocean is famous for powerful marine predators and massive whale migrations. Southern right whales visit these waters every year, often swimming surprisingly close to shore. Dolphins gather in huge numbers, sometimes forming so-called superpods that stretch for miles. Seabirds wheel through the sky while powerful ocean currents bring nutrients up from deep water, creating a feeding ground for countless marine species. Some areas nearby are even known for great white sharks, one of the ocean's most legendary predators. Cruise ships traveling through these waters offer a rare opportunity to observe one of the most dynamic marine ecosystems on Earth. But here's something important to understand. Modern wildlife cruises are designed to protect the animals and the environment. Ships follow strict guidelines that control how close they can approach marine life. Engines slow down in whale zones. Trained naturalists on board help passengers understand what they're seeing and why these ecosystems matter. The goal isn't just to watch wildlife. It's to respect it. The oceans cover more than 70% of our planet, and they hold some of the most extraordinary life forms ever evolved. Yet many of these ecosystems remain fragile and vulnerable. Responsible travel helps raise awareness and support conservation efforts that protect these incredible animals. Because when people witness a whale breaching beside a ship, or see dolphins racing through open water, something changes. The ocean stops feeling distant. It becomes personal. And that connection might be one of the most powerful ways to protect the natural world. Cruise routes that pass through wildlife hotspots offer something truly special. They combine adventure, education, and pure wonder. One moment you're watching glaciers drift through icy water. The next you're spotting a pod of dolphins dancing across the horizon. Every journey feels different because nature never repeats the same show twice. Some days the ocean is quiet and peaceful. Other days it bursts with life. And that unpredictability is part of the magic. Somewhere out there right now, whales are migrating across open seas. Dolphins are racing through ocean swells. Penguins are diving through icy currents. Entire worlds of marine life are unfolding far beyond the shoreline. Cruise routes just happen to pass right through them. That's what makes these journeys so unforgettable. You're not just traveling across the ocean. You're traveling through one of the greatest wildlife theaters on Earth. If you enjoyed discovering these incredible cruise wildlife hotspots and want to explore more amazing ocean destinations, make sure you subscribe to Travel in Cruise. There's a whole world out there waiting beyond the horizon, and we'll keep bringing you the stories, the routes, and the hidden wonders of life at sea. Thanks for watching.